Hi, this is James from Drone Deer Services, and in this mission, I was just out looking for wild birds, and then I discovered a lot of white-tailed deer with significant antler growth here in early August in the upper Midwest. As I process these, I'm going to move through them pretty quickly because what I found was pretty amazing, and then the next video I will go into a little bit more detail uh, with the number of deer that are in this particular area. Again, out looking for the great gray owl. Didn't see any of those. Saw a lot of other wild birds. Pretty neat, but this kind of turned into just looking at all these white-tailed deer. Again, like I said, it's an evening in early August in the upper Midwest. Probably about 71 degrees. The Mavic 3T thermal feature does very well here. You can see some of these racks are just tremendous. And I just wanted to give folks a look at what I saw. If you haven't been seeing a lot of deer in your area, then maybe this will help inspire you to get your stuff ready for the 2023 season and start practicing with your bow or crossbow and see what you can do uh, for harvesting a whitetail. What happens is that we just got to get used to our gear again, climbing up and down tree stands, getting our saddle equipment out, checking everything, making it as quiet as possible, getting our arrows and broadheads ready so we can do what we need to do when we need to do it. And that just requires a little bit of work and get ready for the season. But hopefully these shots of these deer today and then in the next video will give you, inspiration. That was, I thought. The deer are eating mixed vegetation. They're in the beans. This is a weedy kind of patch of beans. A lot of 8-point plus deer here. That was one of the deer on the smaller side, but there will definitely be larger deer in this video and also in an upcoming mission. So here we're just flying again, processing thermal signatures. This guy right here is tucked pretty deep in. Nice basket rack, 8. Not super wide, but definitely a nice deer to take. Setting up on these deer, here's a smaller, maybe 6-point, maybe a small 8-point, standing up in a very well-worn deer bed. They're in bachelor groups now. I did find some bucks hanging out with does in this group, but for the most part, it was I don't know, 75% of the deer I saw on this mission, maybe even a little bit more, were antlered, and of the 75%, the majority of them were 6 points and more. Here is one of the unantlered deer. Concerned that there wasn't a fawn with that deer, but I do see fawns in the next missions that are coming up. So there's a well-worn deer trail, there's a deer bed, and there's a deer laying in the bed. It's one of the smaller bucks. Continuing to process this parcel. What we find out here is I have some smaller deer here, not antlered. So that was pretty cool to see that. And then as I process this ag field, you can see another antlered buck, kind of a different format. Maybe that was unantlered, out in the middle of that ag field. Continue to process. This is a pretty big guy here. I'm thinking at least 8, pretty wide, possibly a 10. I didn't want to drop down too much. I was at 400 feet, and he's on the move a little bit, but this is a big body deer. So that's 400 feet, and this is a big deer, body-wise. Rack isn't super big, but probably a 3-year-old, I'm guessing. Um, this area does produce some big deer, and here comes some kind of close-ups of a deer that was kind of pretty amazing. Different kind of rack. Um, Laying at a bed, and I spent some time above this deer. Gets up in honor of Center Pin Rick, takes care of some business here, and kind of messing with that little twig branch in front of him. His antlers were caught in, doing a little back scratching here. But this is a pretty cool rack on this particular deer. I watched this one for a while because, I would put this on the list. Um, I don't different thoughts on what's on the back as we zoom in a little bit. Whether that is the shedding of the coat and changing over to the fall or winter coat, or is that an old damage from a previous non-lethal hit? Not real sure, but it's a pretty cool rack. I'll zoom in on these. A lot of points, more on the left side than the right side. There's some strange things going around the brows. There's kind of like a additional G2 here. You can see those dark circles on the tips of the antler. MSU Deer Lab says that those are indication that the antlers are not finished growing yet, which is cool. But this is going to be a nice deer here. A lot of split, a lot of character here. And, not super, drop tiny or kickers, but there's certainly some stuff going on here, which is pretty neat. And there's that stuff on the back. You can see as he bends down his head, what happens to that rack. He's doing a little itching, or I'm sorry, scratching, and so that's a pretty cool deer. We'll continue to bring this kind of content to folks, see animals in the wild. You can see here his left side is pretty significantly larger than his right side. Seems like there's one more tine over there that's pretty big. But if you leave me comments, what you think is going on with this deer. There's some like split brows there, and I'd certainly be interested to see what you say. But as always, we're here to help. Season's getting close. If you need any help finding your deer, let us know. I'll include the email in order to get a hold of us. And Boomer Outdoorsman, Drone Deer Services, over and out.